Good morning, everyone. We are going to get started in 1 minute. So if you can grab your coffee, get some donuts and bagels and fruit, and then we will get started.
welcome. I'm glad to see everybody here this morning. This is our weekly meeting of 1 Million Cups. So if you haven't signed in, go ahead and scan that QR code. My name is Wendy Taylor, and I'm the site manager for the UCF Incubator here in Eustis. And when you do sign in, I think there's some questions. Yes, so please answer those questions, because we do rely on that for attendance. So I'll give you a second to go. Yes, Monty and I were discussing a song. So we're going to play a song while you fill out your questions. Thank you, Monty.
It's a long final fairway break there.
Monty, the music's perfect. Fills in the dead space. Only fill out the form.
It saves our jokes for later.
Are you all filling out your questions? When you come to that first page, click register here, and it'll launch you in a little form. Did it work for everybody?
All I have to do is Google Picture
Like the old one better. You do it in your phone.
Everybody have their questions answered? I see a couple people still working. Okay. And if you're a returning guest, we still want you to fill that out. We got it? Okay, get a couple thumbs up. Good thing we have the music, because this would be a long dead space. Watching paint dry.
Monty said you were going to sing.
Oh, that's at the end.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do cartwheels too. I've been practicing.
Singing is to encourage people to leave? No?
Encouraging them to come back.
Oh.
Next week. Okay, so I think I'm seeing less tops of heads, so everybody's kind of looking back up at me here. So, okay, do we want to go to the next slide? And there's the Wi-Fi in the corner if you couldn't get on Wi-Fi. So, thanks. So, just a couple of housekeeping. If you can keep from side conversations during our presentation this morning, and we have something a little different lined up today. So, we're trying a new format. If you can mute your phone, we'd appreciate that. We are streaming live on Facebook. So if you want to text your friends, family members, your frenemies, and let them know to log into our Facebook page. And this is going to be a very active presentation, so you want to encourage your folks online there to engage with us throughout. We're not doing the standard 6-minute presentation with a 20-minute Q&A. It's going to be interactive the whole time, so you can tell your friends that. So thank you to our host of Mega Workplace, George and Pam. George and Pam, would you like to say a few words? Or just George?
Say whatever Pam tells me to say.
Good morning. Welcome to Mega Workplace. Anybody, did I miss the part? Anybody new here that hasn't been here before? Okay, just one. All right, I'm sorry, that's not the slide yet. I was trying to not bore you with the same line, but our vision was to make an economic hub for small business, for collaboration, for growth. You know, we're pretty proud. We've been saying for the last couple of weeks. Last month we had 450 entrepreneurs walk through those doors that you walk through downstairs. When I had this vision for this building just 2 years ago, never did I imagine that we would touch that many people. And we're thankful for the response, the county, the city, for all of their support. We do rent some space here if you have an interest, everything from a dedicated office to a virtual office. A couple people I wanted to introduce and thank. Obviously our city manager, Tom Carino, hiding in the back by the food. He was instrumental in supporting us to help get the city's support to fund the UCF incubator, and that has become a great centerpiece. Jermaine Stanley right here, who's quietly from the county's economic development. And utilize these guys if you need them. They're here for you guys, for this perfect audience. Let's see, who else? Al Latimer, our director for the city, who's quiet, the gentle giant. He was a NFL player for 2 different teams. I like to brag about that more than economic development. It's just pretty cool to have that. And now I think we have an Parks and Recs director who was an NBA player. So we are a team. And also, I'm sorry? Yeah. Also, Million Cups, just so that you know, came here, was the driving force of LEAD. And Ray is up here. He is the guy who actually made this happen for you guys. And he's favorite left-hand guy, Monty.
Not right hand.
Not right hand. He's working on that. He's growing up. So left hand. So thank you for all those who make this possible. Thank you for your dedication to economic and growing and fostering small business, supporting each other. It says a lot about our phase of your phase. When you're standing here, you're giving back, if you think about it that way. You're giving back, you're supporting the guy to your right, the guy to your left, and you're walking down that road together. There's a saying as a big nautical navigator, an equal tide rises all boats. And that's what we're here for. We're here to rise all of us together. So thank you for being here. Thank you to Wendy for her meetings, and Jim for his leadership in all of these. And I hope you leave here a little bit better than you came in. So thank you for being here.
All right, thank you. And we have 2 sponsors. We want to thank eXp Realty. Where's Brittany? Right there.
And Brady.
Brandy, why do I do that? It's both. Okay, sorry, it's both of these ladies. Okay, thank you for sponsoring our food, and we have coffee sponsored by Foxtail Coffee. So see these ladies for any real estate needs that you have. So what is 1MC? It's presenting, not pitches. It is connecting, not networking. So I encourage you all after this meeting to get together though with each other and have coffee. It could take just 30 minutes. Exchange business cards and meet up afterwards, because this is how you will grow your business, through networking, even though we're connecting. But you can network later. So who here is a first-time person attendee to 1 Million Cups? Raise your hand. Be really proud of this. This is awesome that you're. If you can just stand up, introduce yourself, and give us your name. Just name, company name.
My name is Debbie Richardson, and I own a small breakfast eatery just 1 block over called Morning Sunshine Eats.
Great, thank you.
Lisa Kelty, I own Cozy Corner Treasures, Magnolia, 30 East Magnolia Avenue, right beside Mystic Ice Cream.
Great, okay, thank you. Any other guests? New people? Pam, did you?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right, well, welcome. Welcome. Anybody else over here new? No? Or they just shy? They don't want to tell us that they're new. They're blending. Okay, you can blend. So, well, great. Well, please spread the word and tell people that this is open to anybody that would like to come. Even if they don't live in Lake County, they're welcome to come and join us. So we're going to be giving away some swag here. We've got some cups and some notepads. So did everybody put their business card in the bucket when you first came in? No? Okay. Maybe we can pass the bucket right. Oh, okay. We've got the fishbowl there. So she's going to make her way around. So please put your card in. So if you'd like to present, this is certainly, it's free to present, it's free to come. So if you would like to present your business and what's keeping you up at night, we would love to have you. We're looking for you have an established business and you think, why? I really want to try something new. I want to offer a new product or service. We would love to help you with it. I know that this has helped a lot of folks that have presented, so we'd like to help you too. So if you're not sure if your idea would be one to present, send it to us. Send it to Jim and I and Monty, and please, we would love to have you present. So spread the word. If you know somebody that's got a business that they're thinking of starting, this is a great venue to present it. I think one what should I call my business? So that was a fun presentation. So followed us on Facebook, pull out your phone and go to Facebook and follow us. Same thing with LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. So this is our question of the day, and this is where we need interaction here. So wake up and think of your answer. If you could invite a superhero to energize and support our 1MC community, what would their superpowers be? So in other words, what is our community missing to help your organization and presenters to succeed? So what's the superpower that our 1MC group needs? Who wants to start?
I would start with Professor X, because he has the capability of reading everyone's mind, and we all. Alright, I'm going to go superpower from George's talk last night. I'm going to go Professor Parking, so that there's always enough parking to come down and visit this great city.
Other superpowers?
Mine's not conventional, but it's the ultimate one because I'm very spiritual. I would say Jesus Christ.
I don't know which superpower or superhero this is, but I think the superpower that would be needed here is perspective.
Okay.
To be the best at first impressions, because that's more vision of what we're talking about, what we're here for.
Who else? I think for me, a superpower would be awareness, spreading the awareness to have more people come. And, oh, sorry. We want to fill the room. John, did you have one?
Yes, not a superpower, but be the best version of yourself that you can be.
Yes. Anybody else? Oh, yeah, Tom.
A funding man. I don't know, Bruce Wayne. To invest in all the great ideas that everybody has. I mean, that's, you know, when we talk economic development with LEAD and other economic development organizations, something we lack in the area is angel funding and investors, and the fact that the folks who are funding great ideas are pulling people away from this area, taking them to, you know, the Northeast or Chicago or the West Coast, because that's where you have to be if we're going to fund you. So some local folks that can fund some of the great ideas.
I like that one. Somebody else?
It's a quote, and I got it from him. He said, Captain America, but it's when Captain America says, I can do this all day. Not giving up. It's huge.
Yeah. Other superpowers. Monty, did you come up with anything?
I'm sticking with awareness.
Okay. We'll be on that awareness campaign. Anybody else?
I have one. I think it's a superpower. For me, it's a superpower. It would would be if I had it. But more so to be able to make folks that are not comfortable public speaking or interacting when they first meet people, because some people, I guess, personally, I meet a person and I get to know them and I get more comfortable. But in situations like this, I think a superpower would be just to be able to come in with your cape on and just, hey, and just start talking to people. I kind of did it, but I mean, I can't say I do it all the time. So that's what I would say.
I think that's a good superhero power, because it's hard for a lot of people to get up and present.
So over there.
Yeah.
I would say a pride swallower. So a lot of people think it's too good to be true, the amount of resources available that are free or low of cost, that are right here under this roof, that are already paid for in your taxes. So take advantage of those. When I run across businesses, like, oh, go to Career Source, get some staffing, get some on-the-job training, or oh, go to SPDC, formulate your business, or oh, talk to us, we'll get you connected to industry-specific networking, yada yada. And so I think just be aware and open to that this is the land of opportunity still, and it's not too good to be true.
You want me? Yes. I think for me, it would be follow through. You know, I see 80 people every 6 months and 20 come back. So, you know, that really tells you the story. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to be committed and dedicated and go through.
I would say grow and develop the potential within each of us, and that will change your home, and then it will change the community.
Another one is that treating people the way you want to be treated. You know, the superpower there would be to be considerate. Think about what's going to come out of your mouth. Think about what you're going to do and how it's going to affect the person around you or the people around you. I think that's a big one that we need to consider.
Anybody else? Okay, these were all very good, so thank you. I think some good tips too. I like John's. Follow through and do what you say you're going to do. Okay, so this is the format for today. So Delaney Foster is going to be our presenter, and Delaney's with Doin Good Junk Removal. Anybody remember Delaney's first presentation? Who was here for her first presentation? Okay, so we have a small crowd. Great. So she's going to give us a progress report of where she is now based off of the feedback that we gave her from her first time. And then she's going to address a new challenge that she's facing. And so this is going to be interactive. So please feel free to raise your hand, comment, give questions, ask questions, give comments. And she's here to learn, and as we all are. So if you don't have a piece of paper in front of you, you might want to get one out and take notes. I find that a lot of these have been very helpful for me anyway, in looking at, well, what are some problems and how do we avoid these pitfalls? And I share it with others. So take your paper out and get ready to help Delaney out here.
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna have to hold this out here because I don't know how to use that. Oh, it's about to go down. Oh, Sadie, yes, perfect. Thank you, Sadie. She's my techie. Yay for Sadie. This is why I bring my children. I'm just kidding. She has her own business, and that's why she's here. Hi, I am Delaney Foster. I am with Doin Good Junk Removal. Although the last time I presented here, I was with Junky Monkey Junk Removal. So for those of you who were in the room, it might sound a little different. Some things happened between the time we started, which was June 12th of last year, until now. Some legal things that made us have to, it's not just me, my husband and I are co-owners, and we had to change our name. I threw a fit for about 30 hours, not even lying, after getting that cease and desist letter from another company's attorney, and felt like my world had just collapsed. And then at the end of that 30 hours, I picked myself back up off the ground. I thought, well, Jesus was down for 3 days too, but he got up again. So here I go. And I decided that they didn't take our business. They took the name. Not the name, it was just close to the name. But anyway, I digress. So my husband and I went and we said, okay, we need some inspiration. What are we going to do to figure out what our new name is going to be? Because they didn't take our junk removal business. They don't have that power, right? So we were looking for all sorts of inspiration. We went back to our foundational verse, which for us is Galatians 6:9, which says, do not grow weary of doing good, for in due time you will reap if you do not give up.
Amen.
And I thought to myself, oh, we have a church event here? Yay. All right. So I thought to myself, we're just going to say this. We're just going to repeat this verse over and over and over again, because it was our foundational verse for a reason. And all I heard was, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. So here we go. And then I just said, do not grow weary of doing good. Do not grow weary of doing good. We're doing good. We're doing good. And I just kept telling myself that until I believed it, right? Because sometimes we got to do that. And so all of a sudden I realized we're not doing good because we're from the South. So we're just doing good, right? Hence the little apostrophe there. And then I decided we're not just doing good junk removal, we're doing good. And we're a junk removal business. Hence the exclamation point. All right? So that's how we came up with the new name. And I gotta be honest, with as much as I loved the old name, I decided, and my 17-year-old came up with it, my 4-year-old solidified it, jumping around the house. Junky Monkey, Junky Monkey. This doing good actually fits what we do in our community, in our family, in the lives of the people. We're bringing a little piece to their space. So, all for a purpose, but woo, that was a rough roller coaster there for just a little bit. Super glad that it only came in 6 months in instead of 6 years in, but that's another story. All right, so that's kind of where we were to where we are now.
All right, so since we're making this interactive, I got a question for you to get started.
Sure, bring it.
One, I appreciate working in the word hence in your presentation, but what was the experience in changing names, letting your customer base know? Did you see any fallback in business because of that? How did you go about getting your new name out there to your customer base and everybody else?
Sure. So our legal assistants said, oh, we can fight this. You can have this area and they can have that area, because they're from Kissimmee and Orlando area, which I don't even want that area. I'd rather have Lake County and the villages, honestly. But if we ever wanted to nationally or federally trademark, it would have never worked. And I thought, well, if we're going to put all the money into sending letters back and forth through our attorneys, let's do something that's actually going to make a difference in the bigger realm. And so that's why we decided to end up changing the name. And when we did that, we were given up to 2 years to use all of our, business cards and flyers and banners and all of that with the old name. But when you decide to change your name, you just go all in and change the name. And you be who you say you are, right? And so we decided we're just, from this point on, we're just doing good. We're just doing good. And I just got really big on promoting it via social media. Our Facebook page exploded. When I was here last, there were 22 of you in the room, just so you know. There were 22 people in this room, and I had like 500 and something followers, which I thought was awesome, on Facebook. And now we've got 1.2 thousand followers on Facebook. There's 45 of you in the room. I'm super excited to watch not only the growth in our company, but also as it's growing with Eustace, right? Say it again.
Did you send out a mailer to all your existing employees? Or?
Great question. That would have been swell had I actually had a CRM in place at the time. Right? This is real. This is raw, right? I didn't have that. I have since gotten that. I teamed up with Thrive, and they helped me with my CRM, and they helped me with all my, not all, but a lot of my Facebook, my webpage they've done. My webpage was a mess. That's better, thanks to them. And so there's a lot of upgrades that we have done since Doing Good. And it's kind of a gut check because I have to ask myself every day, are you who you say you are? Are you doing good? Are you doing good? Right? And if I don't believe it, I just have to say I'm doing good. And so no mailer, but yes to text messages. Yes to just reaching out. Hey, just wanted to let you know that we have changed our name. So if you ever go looking for us, this is where you're going to find us. And it was another way to contact, to reach out, to touch. So I can't be mad, right? Because it gave me a reason to reach out to them. So did I answer all the questions? Okay. Yes.
How much did it cost to change your name across all your platforms?
All right. So this is the vulnerability, right? Because I wish I had that number for you. The reality is that numbers, anybody who was here for Fast Track yesterday heard me say, I literally have to hold my hand behind my head to catch everything going over my head when it comes to numbers. Because that's not my forte. My forte is talking to you one-on-one. My forte is developing rapport. My forte is finding the need and figuring out a solution how we can fill it. That's my forte. My forte is not numbers, although I know I have to be in them as much as it pains me. But I know that it was probably in the $2,000 to $3,000 range, and that was because I was trying to do the bare minimum of everything. Yes?
I have to do it. So I don't want to focus on how much it's going to cost me to do it because I don't have any choice. I got to do it. So she just looked to the future and did the great thing.
That's right. Thanks, John. Yes.
I assume that you now, with this newfound knowledge, went through an attorney and got everything locked in, good to go. And
Oh yeah, we're 100% good to go. I actually had an attorney from the beginning, believe it or not, but the other company was not trademarked at that point, and they went and trademarked November 17th, and then their lawyer reached out on December 7th. So my thought process in that was that somebody called them looking for us, and they saw competition. And they said, we've been around for like 5 years, although their presence was not online, and you know, it is what it is. That's why there could have been a fight in that, but you know, I'm a peacemaker, y'all. I don't want to fight. That's not something I want to do. I don't have energy for that. I'm a mom of 7 kids. Don't make me put my energy towards stuff that's not necessary, you know? Yes, and we're all good, and we are moving forward with national or federal trademark.
Can you tell us who you had to talk to, like sunbiz.org, or you had to change it there, and then for your tax return, just to give people an idea of what did you have to do on the legal side?
Yeah, that's a great question. So on the legal side, I told my lawyer. And I just let them handle it because I wanted to make sure that everything was covered. All the I's were dotted and all the T's were crossed. And again, also not my forte, right? That's not what I was born to be in. So I let them do what they do best, and I let them handle it. But I made sure that even when people were talking about, oh, if you don't, re-up, your $400 is, going to be withdrawn, and I was like, hey, we're good, right? We're good? I don't have to worry about that? They're like, no, you don't have to worry about that. We already did that. Okay, perfect, So I'm still paying attention, and I'm still asking the people that are in charge, like, hey, we good? So that's really what I had to worry about was ANC printing. Where's Harry? Isn't this beautiful? Very nice. Now, I don't know, this is all I had up here last time instead of a slide. This was my one and only slide, right? But it said Junky Monkey, and it wasn't as good or as pretty, and it was green instead of blue. We had to change the colors too. If you change the name, you got to change the color, so. All right, who else? Was that it, or can we go on to what keeps us up at night? All right, so this is what kept us up at night. Starting out I did not consider myself an entrepreneur at the time, okay? Here was my goal. I have 7 children. We have 7 children. Because Gary's not standing here, it's very hard for me to say we, but it is very much a we. So please understand that Gary and I are co-owners and operators of this business equally. But he is at his 40-hour work week job at the moment, so that's why he's not here. So neither one of us had ever owned a business before. But we have 7 children, and we wanted to make sure that we were creating a legacy company for them. Something that was going to outlast us. That was important to us. And so we saw this as an avenue. Not because either one of us ever thought, like, we should start a junk removal business, because that's not what we were thinking, I can promise you. We didn't know how to market our brand. We were in desperate need of help with our website. We were looking for specific people groups, and at that moment, I came in asking, like, who do I need to look for? Because I know we need realtors, property managers, and real estate investors. Those were the 3 that I knew right off the bat. I knew there had to be more. I mean, there's junk everywhere, y'all. Like, haven't you seen? So then, of course, we were in need of a box truck in our truck and trailer. Like, who has a junk removal business without a truck? But that's because my husband said, well, maybe we should have a truck. Maybe we got to get a truck. We should get a truck before we start. And I said, If we wait until we have a truck to start, we will never start. We have got to just do something. We just have to do something. And so that became U-Haul, our best buds. We have created some great relationships with U-Haul in the area. And you know what? Those relationships created a job for us yesterday. Because somebody came and they didn't have any way to haul their stuff off, and they couldn't use one of their trucks because of something, and they were like, here, call these people. Wow. Sweet! I'll take that every day of the week. But you know why? Because I come in all the time, and I'm renting trucks from them all the time. And they're like, wow, you're really staying busy, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, I'm so grateful for you guys. Yeah. Thanks for having a truck ready for me. This is amazing, right? And I'm always upbeat, and I'm always smiling, and so that's what I attract, because that's how I am. We don't attract what we want, we attract who we are. Right? So,
hey, Dylan.
yeah.
All right, so have you compared the cost of your rentals to use the truck versus the cost to buy a truck, and then factor in now the business that you've gotten from U-Haul for that, to see, are you better off to continue renting from them on a cost basis, on a monthly, versus the income? Have you done that comparison?
Sure, again with the numbers, y'all killing me. Okay, so here's what I have done. I've kind of looked at my calendar, because that's what I'm good at, right? And it's that monthly calendar, and y'all, it is not on Google Calendar or Calendly or any of those cool ones. It is the paper calendar, and I'm so glad Matthew guy's on in here, because he rolls his eyes every time he sees me pull it out. But I need to see the whole month in one view. And there have been weeks where there's no job. There have been weeks. There's also been weeks where there's no jobs on Monday morning for the week, and then we have 3 jobs done by the end of Monday, right? So that's just kind of the way that this type of business works. There's been weeks where we had nothing on the calendar and we ended with 8 jobs by the end of the week. Cool. Gotta provide. I'm not worried about it. It'll happen. So the only deal with that, though, is that if I'm U-Hauling it and I don't have a job for the week, I'm also not paying insurance that week. I'm not paying for a truck payment that week. I'm not paying out anything for that week. Now, there are other weeks that, maybe if it was consistently like that every single week, then it would be more beneficial. And when I get to that point, that's going to be a sit-down conversation with Gary, and let's go over more detailed numbers That's also a conversation with SBDC that I have not had yet. John, you're on my list. Do you know that you've been on my list since June?
Who's your numbers person? It's you. It's you.
It's about to be Mary Ann. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, we're chatting. It's just taking me a while to hit the button. So, yes.
I was just going to say to kind of spotlight John over there, he can help you formulate those projections of what you would need to approach the bank for a business loan to get that truck and kind of what numbers you actually need, realistic averages of what you've been doing, projected growth, things like that, to where you can bring Gary home and you can get the truck loan.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second, because currently we're debt free. And personally, we went through a $30,000 get out of debt climb a while back. And we did it in 9 months, and we never wanted to go back, right? Like, the thought of debt to us is like, it makes us shudder, it makes the hair on the back of our necks just crawl, because we know how easy it is to slip back into that. So for our business, we wanted to create a business that we could pass along to our children. And the thought of us accidentally passing on to them debt instead also makes our skin crawl. So while it might be better for us to have a lease on a truck, it's like we're just very leery of that at the moment. We would love to just purchase a truck out flat. Just purchase it, or truck and trailer. I don't want to drive a trailer. I'd much rather drive a box truck. If we're driving truck and trailer, Gary's driving, because I'm not doing it.
I just really want to encourage you to connect with John, because debt is not a bad thing. It's smart debt is a good thing, and managing your debt. And you really can't grow your business and escalate it if you're gonna let that fear stop you from making that important step. In order to grow to that level and get more accounts and get more business, you're going to have to approach that. But it's approaching it in a smart way, a strategic way, and it just goes back to that entrepreneurial mindset of it's a calculated risk.
Right.
And it's worth taking.
I appreciate that input.
Are you still using rental trucks?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I know that it's cutting into our profits.
Yeah.
I'm very well aware of that. Like, I'm not turning a blind eye to that, but we're still on the upside. So
You need to, on the upside, what do you mean?
I mean,
Have
like
you
we're
compared the cost of ownership with the if you do the analysis that you can save money by borrowing money to buy a truck.
Yeah. Okay. So Gary and I have to both come into the office because I want to receive everything you have to tell us,
Yeah.
and it won't happen if it's just me. Gary's the numbers guy. Gary's the one that slept through math class and still graduated in top 100 of his class.
To comment on the short-term debt is good if it's calculated and you do it properly. And I believe with what you had stated, where it's sporadic, you don't have that consistent work. I think you're going the best route as of this moment, but obviously in the future, having a truck, and you know all this. But I also like the pattern I'm hearing from you is that you are leveraging out other people's expertise, and that is brilliant, and that's what a business owner needs to do. Is you can't focus on what the vision is for your company, but then you leverage out to like people like Marianne, John, and that's it's good that you're doing that, because a lot of business owners don't do that. They want to do everything, and then what that does is it stops growth of what they want to do and everything. So good job for you.
Thanks. That was since my last go here. I was doing literally everything, and so I was going to drown myself doing that. Yes.
So I guess my question was, in terms of your clients, is it primarily residential, or do you do commercial work as well to help book up your calendar?
Sure. So commercial work, as I stated over 6 months ago when I was here last, it could be something that we do. At that point, I didn't have a niche, whatever the word is. Niche, thank you. So I didn't have a niche, and I was told that I needed to get one. And I didn't know what that looked like for us. And it wasn't until we were knee deep into this, right, having done multiple different kinds of jobs, to understand that there's a lot of people that need us, but that we gravitate towards fill in the blank. I didn't know. And over this time, what I've come to understand is that there's a lot of junk removal companies out there. We are not the only one. I know that. But I do believe that we are different. And I think that one of the reasons, one of the things that set us apart is just simply our compassion for other people. This is not a junk removal business. This is a people business. The thing that we're helping them with is junk removal. Right? And so if I can connect with the people and find their need and show compassion to their need, then I get to help them with their junk removal because they have trust in us. What?
Speaking of connecting.
Yes.
Asking.
That's a superpower. Yes. Thank you. They get rid of their trucks after so many miles or whatever. A lot of them are like, oh, there's something wrong with the engine. I have to shout out Lake Tech because they're amazing. But Lake Tech is teaching my son how to be an auto mechanic. And it's awesome. He's almost 1 year through it, and he is absolutely loving it, and that's a kid who hated school. So that's awesome to me. And eventually, he's going to take care of our fleet. And eventually, he would be able to he'd be able to go in and look at the truck and tell me what was wrong with it, and you know how much the fix is going to be, and all of that. Currently, that's not the case. So
going back to the debt thing, I feel like that's what makes me come to this meeting. That's what makes me get out there and meet the people. When you don't feel like doing it, that truck payment is what's going to get you out of bed or get you out that night. It's going to make you do better at business because you know you have that payment.
It's your skin in the game.
It is your skin in the game. And I think that you definitely need to get with him because I feel like you may be losing a lot of money doing it the way you're doing it, but you haven't seen the numbers, so you don't know that.
Right.
You don't know what you don't know.
That's true.
Couple quick things, thoughts I wanted to share with you. On the truck part, just for you to know, this is your last year to do a rapid depreciation on the truck, so you can take the entire amount. Right. And it drops, I think it's 60% this year. Is it 60 or 80? 60 now, and then it's going to go away unless the legislature extends it, so you want to consider that. The second is, I think the biggest thing I hear from small business challenges employees and cash flow. So you working your way up. My resolution to your thing is I sit on 2 boards for 2 thrift store and furniture banks. And I can tell you that one of the neatest things we discovered was we were so focused on getting a truck. And the truck was costing us, and it's costing us now between $6,000 and $8,000 to insure it, depending on its value. Instead, we went out and we bought a closed-in trailer for $3,500, and we attach it to another vehicle, and there is no additional insurance, no big expense, no auto expense, no nothing. So start crawling before you run the truck that you need. You really don't need a truck if you want to look at it. You need a means of transporting that junk to your destinations. And the cheapest way right now is through a trailer. That's my opinion to you. But thank you for also being the first person to come back and revisit. And I saw your challenges from before. But what are your challenges today? And what can we as a group do to help you with your new challenges moving forward?
So obviously, the biggest one right up top, keeping track of the numbers. Tax time was a mess. I hated it. It was awful. I'm so glad that it's over, but now that it is, I can breathe a little bit, right? So I decided that I wasn't going to do that again next year. That's when I decided, hey, I need to put somebody in this position that understands everything that I need in this and can just be my wisdom in that corner. So that's where Marianne comes in. As far as the balance sheets, Sadie has been amazing at helping with the numbers. She doesn't like the attention, so don't look at her. But that is been super helpful up until this point. So I don't want to discredit an Excel sheet, right? It's you do what you got to do. You just do what you got to do, and then when you can, you do better, right? And when we know better, we can do better. And so, are you pointing to some? Yes.
The one thing I haven't heard you say is anything about your bank. I think you should call Tom Popesky at United Southern Bank, or Jordan Hawkins, or Robert Dridd. Sit down and tell them who you are.
I know Jordan personally.
Good. Go get to know Jordan better, and start your business conversation with him, because 10 years from now you'll still be with him as your business grows.
Okay, perfect.
Who's your banker?
USB.
USB? Okay. Good place to be.
That's right.
You know the name of your branch manager?
Roxy.
Very good. A+.
She's awesome. I wish she was in the room. Maybe she's watching. Hi, Roxy. She's usually here. So the time-lapse videos was something that was mentioned to me by Quan last time, and I was like, oh, that's a really good idea, and I still haven't done it. Time-lapse videos would be amazing for what we do. I have not done it. I have 0 extra storage on my phone. So what I need to know is there a cloud or an app or a something that doesn't take up storage on my phone that's going to let me do a 4-hour or 20-minute video, because after about 30 seconds my phone tells me you have run out of storage.
External hard drives.
On my phone?
You can do your phone download.
We can do that? See, I don't know this. That's why I'm asking.
You can dock your phone up to your Google account and it'll save all your pictures and clear your phone.
Yeah, like the cloud, right?
Android or an Apple?
Android. Delaney went from here to here real quick.
Let me clarify on that for your Apple fans. I got the S24 Ultra. I got 500 and some gigabytes. I just had that same problem because I make videos for our business, and I had to upgrade my phone. Just upgrade your phone. Get 24 Ultra. You got 500 and some gigabytes on it.
And then write it off, right?
I got a Google Android. I got a Google Android, and Google has, you can buy storage and just buy that. I just bought for $19.99 for a whole year, 100 gigabytes.
Okay.
So what's great, since you have an Android, just upload that right away. So
Okay.
that's your best bet.
Okay, good.
It's cheapest.
Oh, I have to follow the microphone. Okay, go ahead.
There are devices that are specifically designed for taking pictures and videos. They're called cameras. What if you get a call or want to check your email or do anything else while your phone is in 4-hour make a video mode? You're using like this multi-$1,000 tool to create something that, you know, a $200 GoPro with a $20 chip inside will create great video for you. And it's separate from your phone.
Yeah.
It's probably a business expense to buy it. And that's exactly what they're designed to do.
Okay.
And there's software out there to make a great time lapse super easy.
There's a reason I'm stepping in.
Because I'm
video.
talking to
But see that little thing that's recording?
Yes.
That's like $150 and put a little chip in there.
No, it's a camera.
Is
No,
it?
shocking.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay.
So I just wanna step in, being a tax preparer and bookkeeper and all that, right? Because you know we have a lot of hacks. So you're hearing the
the trailer, the box car, the cameras and things like that. What I want you to look at is think about the write-offs you're gonna get when you go see a Mary Ann or John or myself, that you're gonna write off and it's gonna save at your bottom line. Don't worry about the debt part. You know, because the thing is, you can't be scared of debt, like she said, in order to be in business, but look at the long term opposed to the short term.
Gotcha.
But I'm like, get a trailer, because you can still write the miles off on the car that's pulling the trailer. So you're still benefiting from the trailer, it's less cost.
I can't. I don't want to drive the trailer. I don't want to incur the damage on the truck expenses. That's that. Right here.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you how much I respect your journey. You started out saying something very interesting with the 30 hours of kind of wrestling around where your thought process was. And your level of awareness is very high. There's 7 levels of awareness, and the third one is great declaration. So in other words, people go out and declare they're going to do something and they never follow through. Very powerful. You started your business without having everything in place. There's a lot of people in this town who have great ideas and they're already died because they're too afraid to start. They think everything's got to be perfect, everything's got to be figured out, so they don't execute. So my question to you is, when you went from Junky Monkey to Doin Good, there was a lot of thought put into that. So you gave birth to a new business. What new thinking are you putting into Doin Good as far as creating income, maybe multiple lanes of income? You've already identified what you're not good at, and it's very great to know that. That's a good place to be. You don't have to fear that, because you go out and contract or collaborate that with people that's their expertise. So you stay doing what you've demonstrated you do. You create, you're in the creative space, you think things through, you get your family engaged, and you're living your purpose. A lot of people don't even dare to do that. So just keep digging in, keep growing, keep changing. Don't let the details bog you down. Lots of details bury businesses before they ever get off the ground, but you gotta have people take care of them. So find those people. But I'd like to really know, in Doin Good, what are you creating new in that space that wasn't in Junky Monkey?
So that's where we found our niche, right? So we find that the most of what we do now, while we'll do one-item pickups here and there, and people will call us out of the blue, we really focus on, most of the phone calls we get are from out of state, believe it or not. And they from New York, from California, from Oklahoma, from Georgia, from the Carolinas, and they say, we need your help. My parents live in Florida and we're moving them to an assisted living facility. Or my mom died and I need to clear out her house and I can only take back with me whatever I can fit in a suitcase. So this is where our compassion component comes in, right? We're not just coming in saying, okay, we're ready to just take everything out of your house. This meant something to somebody, you know? And so because of how we started treating those people that we were getting, they started saying, hey, if you need them for your situation, we use them. And word of mouth, you know, is the best. I love it. So I think that they're trying to cut me off. So if we can go to the next slide. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know it's 10:02 and I know somebody's going to ask me a last question.
I think we have 2 more questions.
Oh, we do? Okay.
One more. Okay, Rachel.
One more.
So what can we as a community do for you?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you asked. I was so ready for this question. On the back table, actually on all of your tables, there's some stuff. Feel free to take them. If you think that if you know somebody, if you're like, oh, I just remembered somebody saying they needed their garage cleaned out. Or, you know, I know somebody whose parents just passed away. You know, maybe this would be useful for them. I'd love for you to just keep us top of mind when you're talking to people. Or, if you don't know anybody, and you don't want a $5 coupon for a Power Meal Prep, because we team up with them too, we're all about connecting community. I'd love for you to come to our ribbon cutting, which is on Friday, and just support us in the community as we're trying to connect people within the community.
Hey guys, listen, if y'all have any other questions for Delaney, feel free to stay afterwards and she can answer all of y'all questions, okay?
Thank you guys, I appreciate it so much.
So we'll open up to community announcements. Does anybody have any community announcements?
You want to do the giveaway first?
Oh yeah, thanks, I forgot. Yeah, can you hear me? Is this stuff? Yeah, it's on. Okay. Oh, the fishbowl, yes. Did everybody put their card in?
Do we have all cards? We got all cards?
Hey, Wendy, we're gonna mix it up a little bit too. How about 2 cards and 2 from the people that use the QR actually, which is about half the room, so shame on y'all.
Oh, Mary Ann. So you want to pick something? So Monty, the 2 people that use the QR?
So pick 2 numbers between 1 and 15.
5.
5, lucky winner is Amy Urich.
I didn't even have a guess.
Okay.
So you can come on up and you can pick something. And then there's one more?
One more.
So pick from the...
From 1 through 15.
Oh. Or no?
I think I deserve some.
May 22nd, John and Ray and I are going to be speaking down there and talking about the resources available through the SVD's